Sly News right here. It's only Mr. Sly Media. And before I get started on my video right here, I would like to wish everybody a happy New Year. Happy whatever. Hope you had a good New Year. New Year's Eve yesterday as well. Hope you brought in the New Year with your loved ones and you were safe and you was able to wake up this morning and everything. So, like I said, before I get started on the video, Happy New Year's, everyone. And all. And this video I'm going to talk about, I'm kind of late on it, but hey, I said I was going to do it. I was going to talk about this. I finally saw The Lion King, Mufasa story last night, so I decided right here to do my take on it, do my review on it. The movie actually isn't pretty bad. It actually isn't bad. It's actually pretty good. And I guess because my expectations for it was kind of low, so I guess what I thought was pretty good. I didn't, because I heard so many people like say the movie's alright, they didn't like it. I actually thought it was pretty good and entertaining. I guess because, like I said, my expectation was so low for it, so I guess it was like, oh, okay, this movie's actually pretty good, decent. Actually held my attention. Actually liked it and enjoyed it a lot and everything. Still not better than Sonic 3, which like I said, if you haven't seen my review on that, I did review on Sonic 3, but, it's not better than Sonic 3, but it's actually a pretty good movie and all that. I like the story of Mufasa, like his story of how, his origin of kind of how he became who he was. The only weak parts about it, I see a lot of people talking about this. I think Timon and Pumbaa comedy, that was the weak part, but it's understandable. I guess like when the movie gets so serious now, they flashback because Rafiki's telling the story to Kiara, which is actually voiced by Blue Ivy. I ain't know Beyonce though. I didn't even know that was her voice. I just found out that was who voiced Kiara. But like when they go back, they have Rafiki telling the story to Kiara, and it's like I guess when the story, so they do flashback forward and everything like that. I feel like they do that with Timon and Pumbaa because it gets so serious with the story between Taka and Mufasa that I feel like they go back to Kiara and Rafiki and Timon and Pumbaa, I guess, for comic relief, I should say, to kind of meld the story down to bring comedy in. And just, I guess, the jokes just didn't hit like that and all and everything. So that's the only weak part I say about it with Timon and Pumbaa. That kind of was more like, and all that, trying to force a little bit of kiddie jokes in there and all that and everything. But, that was the only weak part. But everything else, I did like the story of Mufasa, like showing where he come from, how he just, became king. He wasn't always meant to be king and all that. I think Rafiki says a line to him at the end of the movie when he says to him, hey, yeah, you weren't born a king. It's not about what you're born, but what you become, And all there was, like we find out Taka, aka Scar, he was supposed to be the king. His family, his mom, his dad pushed him and saying he was supposed to be the king and all that and everything. He was forced into it and all that. But it turns out when we see the film, I'm just going, making big plot points about what's going on in the film and everything. And I'm not gonna do a full a review of every detail of the movie, but I'm gonna talk about important pieces of it. But in the film, we see with Taka's dad, Odessa, he pretty much saying, hey, he's an outsider and all that, and they have a race to prove like, hey, if Taka beats Mufasa, then hey, he can't stay with us and all that because he's a stray. He said, oh, he will betray you, he's a stray and all that. But in the movie, in the film, and we see that Taka, lets and not Taka actually lets Mufasa beat him and everything and all that, so he can stay and all that, because his mom, tells him to as well and all that. Because like I said, Taka, he always wanted a brother. Like Taka was, a good friend to him and all that. And we see even in the beginning, he ends up saving him and all that. That's when they do with the Flash, when they keep on showing how all the time, like Taka ends up, using his claws to save and all that. And of course, we know the one time he didn't use his claws to save him, we know, of course, what happened in the original Lion King movie. So they go back to a lot of that in the film. How many times, Taka always saves Mufasa and all that. He really did, like I said, showing he loved him like a brother. That's what I liked about the film. To show Taka more of a complex, how he's more of a complex film, that he did actually care for him and all that. What we see in the film, since even though Mufasa run the race, it showed that Odessa, Scar's, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his father's name right, Scar's father's name right, but Scar's father, Taka's father didn't really want him. He didn't really want Mufasa and everything, so he had him be with the female lion cubs and be with them and everything. So in the female lion cubs, Mufasa learned how to hunt, learned how to just senses and all that and everything. While Taka's dad was more like kind of like a lazy lion, doing what actually normal male lions do, really, just watch it, just kind of watch over the pride lands and fight and everything like that. But he was more like a lazy king and all that. So Scar never really learned any other the things that Mufasa learned. And it plays out in the movie and all that when we kind of see more so like, when it's time to fight or something like that, Taka's more timid and, is kind of hiding and everything like that. And Taka's father said, "Don't ever let nobody tell nobody that. Don't let nobody know about that. You hiding and everything like that. Because when the white lions that were the outsiders came to attack, who were like the main antagonists in this film, led by the lion named Kieran, that like he ends up his one of his son ends up dying by the hands of Mufasa. Mufasa is protecting Scar's Taka's father and everything like that, and it plays a big part into the other part of the film as well and everything with out with the whole thing with the outsiders. Rafiki says this line to now. I think you can see a clip on YouTube. It's very good line. Like I said, Rafiki is one of the strong points in this film and all that and everything about being an outsider. Outsiders are people who are turn hatred because they feel like they're not loved by ones that they feel like they're just alike. That leads to hatred and evilness and all that. Which, like I said, very strong line when Rafiki said that. He has a lot of wise words in his film, Rafiki, and all. But that's one of the ones that stuck out to me about when you're not loved by the ones that you are just like. That leads to hatred. Yeah. So, and all. But as well, we get introduced to Sarabi as well, along with Zazu, our favorite bird. We get introduced to him as well. We found out with Sarabi, which plays a part, and is a big part of why it gets the ultimate turn when Taka really turns against Mufasa. Taka has a crush on Sarabi and all that and everything, but he's so socially awkward, kind of and all that and everything. He talks about, hey, oh, you smell like duck flowers and stuff like that, and everything. So doesn't really work out for him and everything like that. But Taka tells Mufasa, hey, I really like Sarabi, I'm feeling her and all that and everything. Just tell her, how it is you with your man. Just tell hey, I'm feeling this girl and all that, but it's just not working for him. He don't know the right words to say. He becomes very socially awkward and all that and everything. So it's just how the complex of like we see with Taka's character how he just like this shy awkward kid because like I said he's necessarily have been babied a lot by his father and he's just supposed to be this king and all that and everything and all. So we see the part where a stampede happens because of a beehive and all of his elephants and Mufasa ends up saving Sarabi and everything. And before Rafik can tell Sarabi who saved him, Mufasa says, no, Taka did it. Taka saved you and all that and everything. She believes Mufasa at first, but then when Rafiki says a line later on in the film, when the snowstorm went out in the ice and the snow and everything, Mufasa says, Rafiki, I got you and everything. And then her consciousness, Sarabi just remembers, oh, I remember somebody saying that it was you. Mufasa's like, no, it was you that saved me and all that and everything. No, it was you. And he even says a line, said, I was not meant to be king. Taka was meant to be king. He's meant to be king. And Sarabi says, no, it was his destiny to save you and all that. It wasn't meant for him to be king. And they end up, really liking each other, get it talking. And it makes Taka real mad. This is when we see the evilness of him. And he's so frustrated, so upset. He ends up, falling over this cliff area with the snowstorm. Ends up getting like surrounded by the white lions, by Kieran and the white lions. And he ends up turning on Mufasa, saying like, oh yeah, it's Mufasa's reason, why my dad is gone. When technically it's not really, it's really the white lion's fault why your father's gone. And he's saying, well, yeah, and then Kieran says, oh, yeah, yeah, and he's responsible for killing my son and all that. And Taka even says, yeah, Mufasa did it. He killed your son and everything. So he, like I said, Taka just feels so betrayed because he said, oh, my father warned me. He told me. And it shows a lot of too in this film, sometimes with parents and what family member, and he tells you as a young adult, you end up realizing this as you get grown and everything. So he realizes he remembers what his dad always told him. Oh, he will betray you. Strays never trust him, and all. So he goes back to that saying like he feel like, oh yeah, my father loved you. He trusted you more than me. My mother, she even liked you and trusted you more than me and all that because Mufasa was supposed to protect Taka and everything. So he just like I said, he just feels ultimate betrayed and ends up like I said, turn on him and all that when they finally get to this place called Levy and all that, which is kind of like pretty much the circle of life what we all see in the film of the Lion King. And so towards the end, so when Mufasa finds this out and everything like that, it's still like the split end where Kieran looks like he's going for the final blow to take out Mufasa and everything because he's a bigger, stronger lion than him and more experienced. Scar ends up hitting him and all that, and Scar ends up getting his scar to what Taka does, and then that's how he gets the name Scar, how he got the scars on his face. Now I didn't know this in canon in the original Lion King movie. It says Scar got his scar on his face actually from a buffalo. That's how he got his scars and everything. That's actually what happened in the original series, the Lion King movie, and all that. In this film, though, we see he gets his scars from a fight with Kieran from White Lion. That's how he get his scars, and end up becoming, and ends up getting his scars on his face. So when it looks like all is failed, when Fox looks like he's finna drown during the fight and everything like that, Taka comes to save him and all, and it looks like he's finna let him go, but then he saves him again. They go back to that flash forward set where he uses his claws to pick Mufasa up and save him. Like I said, and we all know about that one time when, of course, he doesn't. So they go, like I said, they go back to a lot. I don't mind it. They go back to a lot to show you how many times Taka, saved Mufasa instead for that one time we know about in the film when he did, he did and all that. So Zazu and everybody asked him what you should do with him, should you abandon him and all that? And Mufasa says no and all that. He says no. As long as I'm king, my brother has a place in the Pride Lands. And he said, Taka says, oh, don't call me, Dad, don't call me, don't call me Taka anymore. Call me Scar. And he's like, oh, okay, and all that. Also in the film, Mufasa does get reunited with his mom, who he's abandoned with. He gets reunited. So he ends up being kings of the Pride Land with having his mom, Sarabi, all right by his side and everything. And we just see the more foreshadowing kind of a little bit of how, Taka ends up turning evil and all that because how he looks mad. He feels like, oh, how Mufasa is king and all that. And he's, he's very upset in the end. And also in the film, we get introduced, I guess, if you ever watched The Lion Guard, I never watched, I just seen YouTube clips of it and everything. We see that Keon is canon because in the end, we see that Kiara looks for her parents and she ends up finding Simba because Rafiki asked her, where is Mufasa? I wish I got to meet my grandfather, Mufasa, and everything. And he said, look into the sky. You can see him. He lives in you. That's the main thing of all Lion King movies, even the original ones. The animated ones has always said he lives in you and all that. And you see the sky open up because she's no longer scared of the storm or the weather and everything. And we see Mufasa comes out. So we see him now. Mufasa comes out. But we see the skies and it's like show Mufasa's face and all that. And then, like I said, she does go and she sees Simba, and then she sees her father Simba. Then she goes look for her mom to see her mom as well, and she introduces her to her younger brother and all that. So I guess that means, like I said, Keon is canon and all that from the Lion Guard series. I guess that's what I think about because if anybody had watched the Lion Guard series or checked it out or seen clips of it, Simba does have a son named Keon. So I'm guessing Keon is like canon in this franchise right here and all that. Like they introduced Keon. So like they're setting up a third Lion King movie, which would be I guess Lion King 2. I guess they're setting up that. So and to see how they play it out, we'll do a different storyline with this Lion King 2. Now, because we all know about Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. They never mentioned Simba having a son or anything like that, even in the end of the movie or anything. And they played something with having scars, like kind of like his family, and him having like I think Kova was kind of like not his son really, but kind of like part of him, and him and Kiara end up becoming close together and everything. But yeah, so it seems like with this route they're going with this movie, they're making Keon canon. So that, like I said, that'll be interesting and all and everything. So that was like I said, I didn't really like check out, it was not like with Sonic 3 when I saw the spoilers and I was familiar with the movie and all the storyline they were going. With this, I didn't know how they were doing with Lion King. So I guess as well, my expectation was very low and all that. Like I said, they show exactly how Mufasa became king and what led to their food and all that and everything. It's really over Sarabi and all that, him liking a girl pretty much, kind of like what made the ultimate turn for him and everything. And also as well, it's not like Mufasa took the throne from Scar or something like that or anything like that. He never really wanted to be king or nothing like that. He would just, like I said, he was a noble. He was a stray and all that. Mufasa was just always noble, and he was just trained, and he just grew into becoming the king and all that. He didn't like necessarily just hand it to him or anything like that. So he never actually took the throne from Scar. He was just built and just better for it and everything, Mufasa. So I very well did like the storyline how they put in this film. But like I said, interesting to know about that, like how this will happen, like how did Mufasa become king and all that. What led to Scar officially just turning completely on him, and we seen what it was about. So, like I said, this film is solid to me, definitely solid and all that. I'm not saying you should jump out and go theaters, go see it if you haven't seen it yet. I would say check it online or Disney Plus or anything. But it's definitely a solid, good movie. I think it was actually better than the original Lion King 2019 because they show more emotion in the characters. with this one than they did the last film. So I feel like that's what make this film a lot better. They actually show the lions with more emotions in it and all that. Also, too, we actually see the Lion Kings are actually part of the Pride Lands in this film. So I wonder what that too was about. Like, how did the Lion Kings end up getting like, why were they end up becoming outsiders of the Pride Land and all that? Because we see in this film, the Heinies were part of the Pride Land. So I wonder what happened, what led to them like going astray and them not part of Pride Lands anymore. Maybe we'll find out in the next movie. So it's a lot of like Easter eggs they did. They point out about stuff that this night they're definitely setting up for another movie. So I feel like the movie's making money right now and all that. So I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised they have a sequel for this and all that. With like I said, I feel like with them introducing Simba having a son, I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, they do a sequel to this. So here's to see how it goes, how they do for the next film and all that. But like I said, solid. Like I said, I give it a solid film. I give it definitely a 7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10 to me is not bad at all. I give it Lion King. Like I said, I had low expectations for this film, so I guess that's why I say I give it a 7 out of 10. Definitely something to check out. Definitely sure not rushing out theaters to go see it, but definitely something to check out, man. Lion King Mufasa story. Definitely good solid film. Like I always said, if you like the content, hit that like subscribe button, slide news right on Slide Media. And like I said in the beginning of this video, hope everybody have a happy new year, be blessed. Stay tuned because tonight I'm going to try to do a review. I'm talking about Jason Momoa being cast as Lobo in a new DC film. So check me out for that. And like I said, if you haven't seen my review on Sonic Movie 3, check it out. And I did a review as well about the new Spider-Man TV series that Marvel just dropped day before yesterday. So check out my video on that as well. So y'all be blessed and be safe wherever you at. This Slide News, Slide Media. I'm out.